There, welcome to my coaching corner here on YouTube. And in today's conversation, I am going to teach you how to rewire your beliefs without losing your damn mind. And if you're somebody who has been in the game of personal development or growth or healing or been on some kind of transformation journey for a while, you know why I put in that last part, without losing your damn mind. Because so much of what is required to really step into a new paradigm, a new belief system for yourself and your life, requires you to tackle some things that make you feel a little bit crazy. That if you're doing it right, I will actually say, you will feel a little bit crazy along the way. So I'm going to teach you how to go about rewiring these beliefs without losing your mind. And it begins by talking about why you don't trust yourself, and starting in that conversation. My name is Sabrina Militello. I am a coach and founder of Empower Her Coaching, and my entire coaching ethos is based on this one statement: your success is inevitable if you don't quit. And so much of your ability to truly step into that, to truly embody that in a way that I have, that's completely transformed my life, is you have to work on the becoming part of this process. So when I say you don't trust yourself, and we have to start there, this is a conversation about who you get to become along the way. So much of the struggle that I see in my one-on-one clients, in my group coaching clients, through my own personal journey, as well as in my own observations of human beings and how the world is shifting and all the things that we have to navigate now, there's a part of there seems to be some kind of hesitancy or lack of willingness to embrace the process. You may be able to see the truth of that in your journey so far. I heard Emma Grede say, I think she was being interviewed by Mel Robbins, and she said, when you're in a process of change, you're seeking something, you're pursuing something, the rule of thirds is at play. And she goes on to explain that 1/3 of the time, you're going to feel amazing. You're going to feel like you're making progress, you're in flow, things are clicking, momentum is building, you're in the creative energy of it, you're in the becoming energy of it, you're going to feel fantastic. 1/3 of the time, you're going to feel, it's okay. Maybe progress has slowed, but I'm still making progress. Maybe the income increases that I'm seeking have slowed, but they're still going up. Maybe my relationship it's maybe stagnant, but it's still good. We're fine. We're okay. And then 1/3 of the time, it's going to be fucking terrible. Excuse my French. It's going to be effing terrible. You're going to feel like you're failing. It's going to be really hard. You're going to be in the struggle of it. You're going to feel like quitting. It's just going to be hard. It's going to suck. And when you understand that you're not actually supposed to feel good all of the time, the process of change becomes one that you can navigate much more easily. And that's what I mean by who you get to become in the process. I'm a firm believer that whatever it is that you're striving for, if you haven't achieved it yet, and it is simply a matter of yet, there is something that you need to learn still. There is a piece of you that you need to shed still. There is some element of becoming that you haven't quite stepped into yet. And that's why your goals haven't reached you yet. That's why you haven't reached those ambitions or those aspirations that you have yet. It's because there's a piece of you that still needs to become the person that can hold everything that you desire. I firmly believe that. And so the process of growth, the process of change, process of healing, the process of carving out your success, whatever that looks like for you, is a process of becoming. And the reason why you don't trust yourself, and why it is that we have to start there, is because you think that it shouldn't have to be as hard as it is. you come up against obstacles, you come up against struggle, you come up against some thing in the way, and you make that mean that there's something wrong with you and you can't do it. You use those failures, those obstacles, that struggle as an excuse, or as proof, I should say, that you can't do it. That clearly this isn't for you. Clearly I'm not made for this. And you let that be the overriding message, as opposed to, and if you're looking at this journey truly as a process of becoming, this is how you should look at the obstacles and the failures and the setbacks, is you becoming, right? Because things are only difficult because we're not somebody yet who can do those things with ease. Things are only challenging or struggling or a struggle because we're not yet somebody who has the skill set or the experience or the knowledge or the ability to navigate that thing yet. So all the failures, the obstacles, the setbacks that you encounter through your journey, they are simply ways in which you can become. If you allow yourself to sit in the struggle, sit in the failure, sit in the setback, and learn from them. Go and get more skilled. Go and get more experience. Go and learn that thing so that you can overcome this particular hurdle in your path, which then propels you into the next stage of your journey, right? So the reason you don't trust yourself is because there's something in the back of your mind that is telling you it shouldn't have to be this hard. And a lot of that has to do with comparison. And I'm not going to stay on this comparison topic for too long, because I feel like that's an in-depth conversation that we can save for another day. But the era that we live in right now, that it's so easy to compare ourselves to others, isn't it? It's so easy to open up your social media and scroll through image after image or video after video and just be like, I suck, because you don't measure up, if you want to put it that way, to whoever it is that you're seeing. It looks so easy for them, right? They don't have to go through the hardship that I have to go through. These are the kinds of things that we tell ourselves. And so when we're experiencing the hard, the obstacle, the setback, we're in the middle of that failure, we suck, right? Clearly, this is proof and this is evidence that I can't do this. It's not supposed to be this hard. The problem with that is that you see everybody else's like shiny parts and you only see the hard that you're going through. And so it's easy to play that comparison game. And so trusting yourself has to come with this understanding and this acceptance that the journey is supposed to be challenging. You're supposed to come across obstacles. You're supposed to have setbacks and failures along the way, but they only will stop you for good if you allow them to. If you decide that, yeah, this is too hard, I'm out. That's a decision that you make, as opposed to anything that you're coming up against being proof that you can't. Can you see the difference in that? And so you trusting yourself has to start with the acceptance of what is real about the journey that you're on, about the reality and the hardship of what you're trying to encounter and produce. And that will look different for many people, right? Like, for example, when I first started my business, I loathed public speaking. Like, being the center of attention, it was fine in certain respects. I used to be a fitness instructor and a personal trainer. I had my own business. I used to teach group fitness classes. Being on stage in that environment, I loved it, because it was almost like I was getting to play a role, right? The music is on, the lighting is low. I get to be the coach and the fun person, like interacting in that way. Stepping on stage, however, where the lights were shining on me and the cameras were pointed at me and all the eyeballs were on me, that was terrifying to me. Whereas now, because I worked through and navigated through that fear, through being really bad at speaking, being terrible in my public presence, I worked on those things. And now, being on camera, being on stage, being in front of people isn't scary for me anymore. But you only get to that place if you continue to work through and navigate and skill up where it is that you're lacking, if you want to put it that way, right? So your failure only comes when you decide to stop trying. That's it. So trusting yourself is really going to be about the acceptance of the reality of the journey and what it is that you're going to have to go through, knowing that it's going to be different. Everybody's going to be different. Now, for me, speaking on camera isn't a problem, whereas there's women that I mentor in the startup phases of their entrepreneurial journey, where speaking on camera, speaking on stage, they would rather eat their firstborn than do that, right? So know that some things are going to come easy to you that are really hard for other people. Some things are going to be really hard for you that seem so easy for other people. That doesn't mean that you automatically there's something wrong with you. It simply is a part of each person's individual becoming story. So that's the first part, right? You have to start trusting yourself. And part of that self-trust is to let go of the expectation that things are supposed to be easy or easier than they are. Your journey is yours. Acceptance has to come with that so that you can move forward. You have to start there. And then when it comes to rewiring your beliefs without losing your mind, we're talking about acceptance of however long it's going to take. So many people struggle with that, but how long, with that time frame thing. I've worked with women on their health journeys, seeking to, make significant changes in their health, lose upwards of 100 pounds, change medical diagnoses, diabetes, things like that. And the first question whenever we get started is always, how long is this going to take? I've worked with women who are in the startups of their entrepreneurial journeys, like I said, and the first question is always, well, how long until I reach that dream and I achieve those goals? Wherever it is that you're at, maybe you can recognize that you're asking yourself, how long is it going to take? Or you're stopping yourself from taking action because you're like, oh, it's going to take too long. Or you're thinking about quitting, or you have quit because it took too long. The only way that you're going to be able to navigate your journey of change, and if you're here, I know that you're a woman who has big ambitions for her life. You have aspirations that make you want to vomit when you think about them because they feel so impossible to you. You have this picture and this vision of what your future is going to look like that sings to you in your soul. But sometimes, gosh, I get emotional. Sometimes it feels like that is never going to be your reality because it feels so far away. You're a woman like that, right? Probably because you have a lot of stuff in your past that have made you believe that you're not worthy of that. Whether it's how people treated you, some things that you went through, some traumas that impacted you. There's various things in our past that play into this story of our worth and our value and what it is that we're capable of based on, other experiences of what people have said. When you're somebody who carries that, and then you're looking into, so you're carrying that as your baggage, right? That's your past and your story that you're carrying along with you. But then in the future, down the ways of this road that you're traveling on, you can see so much more and so much bigger and so much freedom and abundance and joy and vitality in your life. It's right there. But the journey feels so hard. It feels impossible to be carrying all of that stuff on this road towards all of that greatness. And so you get stuck in the how long is it going to take? My answer to that, and this is how I want you to start rewiring this belief, and this will help you a lot in your mental health, I can promise you. My advice to that is it takes however long it's going to take. And I know that is somewhat of an oversimplified way of saying, suck it up. But truly, it's going to take however long it takes. And the longer you stay stuck in how long is it going to take? Why is this taking so long? I don't think I can do it. It's taking too long. The longer you get stuck in that, one, you're going to quit, full stop, bottom line, you're going to quit. But two, you suck all of the becoming joy out of it. You can't focus on who you're becoming if you're stuck in the minutia of how long is it going to take? What's the timeline? What's the time frame? And being in such a rush. And trust me, I understand. You might be in a position in your life right now, and take this however you need to take it, where things have to change today. You may be feeling in that kind of headspace where you cannot go on another day living in the same reality that you're in, whether that's the noise in your mind, whether that's your physical environment, whether that's certain things that you're having to deal with and navigate. You feel as if things need to change yesterday. I don't have time for that. It takes however long it's going to take. But trust me when I tell you, the longer you fight the time frame of becoming, the longer you stay away from who you're becoming. And then the further that road looks. Have you ever had one of those dreams where I have a recurring dream where it's like if you're looking at it, and I'll explain to you my dream. I don't know if anyone knows about dreams, then come at me and tell me what this means. But it's if you're looking at the space from a bird's eye view, you would see a square, like a lit up square in a black space, completely black, but then there's like fluorescent lit up lighting on the ground, and it's a square. And each corner, there's a doorway, but there's like a mile between each corner. That's how vast this space is. And one of my recurring dreams is that I'm running towards the doorway. I get to that doorway, I go to grab the handle, the door disappears. And then I look and I see the next doorway, and that's my only option. So I go running again, I get to that doorway, go to grab the handle, the door disappears. I see that the doorway is another mile away, and that's my recurring dream. And I know if you've ever had that experience where it feels like you're walking along a road and you can see what is in the future, you can see what's in the distance right there, but no matter how long you walk, it never seems to get any closer to you. I understand that. But I need you to understand that the longer you fight the fact that the whole point of your transformation process, the whole point of you seeking to achieve these goals, these aspirations, these ambitions, is who you get to become in the process of that journey, the easier all of this is going to become for you to navigate. That's how you're going to learn how to rewire the beliefs that have kept you stuck without losing your mind. The overthinking that you've been stuck in, the procrastination that plagues your day, the people pleasing that feels like it's never gonna not be a part of who you are, the self-doubt, all of those things. You have to understand that it's in the process of your action, of your action taking to become the woman who can hold all of the dreams that you have. That's the magic of the process. And that is the time frame that doesn't have an end. It doesn't, because is there ever an end to you becoming the best version of you? I hope not. I know for me today, the version of me that existed 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even last year, would look at me now and say, that's it. She's the one. But the version of me that exists now, I'm looking ahead at what more is available to me. And not from a place of, oh gosh, you're never satisfied, but more from a place of once you get to that next level of yourself, you see all that is still available. You see all that you still have to work through. You see all of the ways you're still limited by your own beliefs and your own thoughts and your own behaviors, and you want to break free from those things. And so the journey continues. This probably isn't the thing that you wanted to hear, But I think it's so important. Not enough people talk about this aspect of change, the time frame thing and the who you're becoming thing, the self-trust tied into the process of becoming, and then rewiring those beliefs without you losing your mind really boils down to you being able to strip away the time frame, strip away the expectation of what it's supposed to look like and how long it's supposed to take, and instead proceed on the journey. Proceed on the journey. I hope this served you. I hope it gave you some things to think about and really some things to ground yourself into and use as maybe a journal practice for yourself, to sit after you've watched this video and just ask yourself, okay, who will I become if I allow myself to go through the struggle of this process? Who will I become? And the piece of that is so powerful is that when you understand that you, with all the goals or all the things that you want for your life, the desires that you want for your life, whether that's your health, a weight loss number, a financial abundance number, a success number, a level of impact, whatever that looks like for you, whatever success means to you in this season of your life, if you can really think about the version of you that you are now, if all of that was given to you today, all of the things that you desire were given you today, right? You achieved the things without having to go through the struggle though, right? The version of you that exists right now was given everything that you want. Would you be able to keep it? Would you have the skills to keep it? Would you have the knowledge to keep it? Would you have the willpower, the motivation, the discipline, the consistency, the commitment level? Would you have the belief? Would you have the self-trust? Would you have what would be necessary for you to keep it? I can almost promise you that the answer is no. And so don't be in a rush for it to come. Because in order for you, when you get there, for that to be your life, full stop, you're not going to lose it, you're not going to break it, you're not going to burn it down. You have to become the woman who can hold it. So that's the journey. That's how you rewire your beliefs without losing your mind, is getting really nailed down on who you're becoming in the process. Get obsessed almost with who you get to become as you go, and let go of the time frame, let go of the timeline, and just let it be what it is, acting with urgency with the things that you can control without being so tied to the time frame that you sabotage yourself along the way. All right? Thank you so much for being here. Again, I hope this gave you some little nuggets and something powerful that you can progress forward with. If you enjoyed this episode, then give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. I would love that. If you would like to share this with somebody, I would love that too. Somebody that you think really needs to hear this message and that it would serve. And I have a free guide for you that will help you go deeper in this topic, that will help you kind of really dredge into some of those thought processes and belief systems and ask yourself powerful questions as you navigate all of that. I'll pop the link for you to grab that in the notes, in the caption. So go ahead and grab that. I think it would be really, really powerful and helpful for you. Until next time, have a great day.